primer. It's time to settle down. Settle down. And listen to the soothing sound. Oh yeah, Tom and Emma. Oh, because this. Oh my God, this. Oh yeah, this. Oh yeah, this is on a roll.
Hello and welcome back to On a Roll,
Woo.
where we take an unhealthy obsession in an actor's filmography. I'm Tom, and joining me as always is...
Emma. Hello, Tom. How are we?
I'm not too bad, thank you. I'm not too bad. I'm excited to be back for our fourth episode.
4 is a good number, I feel.
Well, they say 3 is the magic number, but...
But I'm feeling 4 in my plums.
In your plums?
In my plums.
Wow, I didn't know you had any, but there we go.
It does not do to assume.
Well, when you assume, make an ass out of you and me.
Exactly.
When you're assuming, you make an ass out of you and Ming. I don't know who Ming is. I'm sure he's very lovely.
It's going to be one of those, is it?
Yeah, it's going to be one of those today. Yeah, we should start off by saying a big thank you to our friends Forrest, Ben and Adam for our intro. We didn't mention it on our first 3 episodes because when we recorded them, we didn't have an intro.
No, we didn't know the wonders that awaited us.
Yeah, so a big thank you to them. There is a longer, fuller version of our intro.
A full and voluminous version.
Oh, it's
bouncy.
Excellent. Very Flight of the Conchords-esque.
And
I'm a big fan of the Flight of the Conchords. So at some point we will hopefully be releasing that full version because it just needs to be heard by the world.
Yeah, we might put it in maybe the final episode of this series as a little treat.
A little treat for your ears.
A little something.
And also, just a big thank you to everyone that's listened thus far, I think, as well, to our first 3 episodes that we released, well, last week at the time of you hearing this. And just thank you for all the nice messages that we've had off people.
Yeah, it's been lovely.
It's made us feel a bit more happy about the podcasts that we're making.
Yeah, it's made us feel warm and fuzzy inside.
Anyway, if you're listening for the first time, welcome. We should probably explain what the fuck is going on.
What the frickin' frick is on a roll? Well, Tom.
Would you like to explain, Emma?
I'm glad you asked. Schmooth. So... As Tom mentioned previously, On a Roll is a podcast where we take an unhealthy obsession in one actor's filmography. So each series we choose one actor and watch every single film they have to offer, and then we pick them apart one by one until there's nothing left to talk about. We're currently working our way through Robert Pattinson's back catalogue, so join us right now for the Twilight Saga Part 2 as we discuss
we come
Eclipse
to the epic
and Breaking Dawn.
The epic conclusion.
The epic conclusion
of the Twilight Saga.
And if you haven't listened to the previous episodes, we recommend you do, because Robert Pattinson has been in some shite.
He's been in some shite, and also you need a little bit of backstory probably into how I feel about the Twilight Saga.
Yeah,
because,
Tom's a passionate boy.
I didn't think I'd get as passionate as I did last week, but just something came over me. You know,
you were a man possessed.
I was a man possessed with a deep-seated hatred for Bella's treatment of my boy Jacob.
Right, well, I'm interested to pick this up with you again because I can't for 1 second believe that you can watch Eclipse and still think that Jacob is a good boy.
Right, okay.
I can't believe it.
I'm going to go early on this, Emma.
Okay.
I've got something to show you.
Oh, what the hell, Tom? What are you doing? Tom's unbuttoning his shirt.
Off.
Tom's unbuttoning... Oh my God! For the listener, Tom has just unbuttoned his overshirt to reveal an undershirt that says hashtag Team Jacob. I can't believe you've done this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You said to me...
That arrived really quickly.
Oh, yeah. Amazon Prime is a wonderful thing. You said to me before we recorded this episode that you wear a Robert Pattinson t-shirt. And
I
you're
do.
Like, oh, I can't wear it today because I've not washed it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to tell you then, but I was like, no, I'll save it. I'll save it for the podcast.
Do you know what? I did think you don't normally wear your shirt buttoned up when you've got a t-shirt under it. And I'm very perceptive, so I thought, that's unusual. Maybe he's just wearing something rubbish and he doesn't want to show it.
Well, in your opinion, it is rubbish.
I can't believe you've done that. I can't stop looking. You're going to have to be like, my eyes are up here, Emma.
They're up here. I know he's a saucy boy, but you've got to take your eyes off him.
Oh my God. I'm going to take a photo and put that somewhere on our social media, so check it out, people.
I now own a hashtag Team Jacob t-shirt.
Well, you've made your bed.
I know.
So did you buy that before you watched these movies?
I did buy it before I watched the films, yeah.
Oh.
But
did you make a mistake, I wonder?
Well, should we get into it? Should we start talking about Eclipse?
I can't believe that. Honestly.
should we get into the, as you like to say, the meat and two veg of it?
Should we get to the meat and two veg of it?
Which we've now pointed out to you, you're using erroneously, but you know.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? A little bit of erroneosity never hurt anybody.
Erroneosity.
Yes.
Is that the official term?
As a woman with a BA in English, I can make up my own words.
Is that
Yeah.
what they give you?
Yeah.
They give you a little certificate that go, well done, you've passed the test, you now command the English language.
You get given a card that you just put in your wallet, and if anyone ever gives you jip,
Oh, jip. Oh, my back's giving me a bit of jip. That's the only time I've ever heard that word used.
I say it quite a lot, actually.
Give me a bit of jip, me
Stop
back.
giving me jip, and then you show them
you
your
sound like
language
an old
card.
northern man.
Oh no.
Oh no, my back's giving me jip. Yeah, so, yeah, I will say, look, Jacob made some questionable choices in
Yes,
Eclipse.
okay.
But I feel he redeemed himself in Breaking Dawn parts 1 and 2.
Interesting. Yeah, because I actually, you'll be proud of me, I made notes this time round.
Stop the press. Stop the press.
Fucking hell, she made notes.
Jesus Christ. Oh, it's episode 4. How the times have changed. Jesus Christ.
Right, wind your neck in.
Okay.
So one of my notes was actually that Jacob needs a big talking to about consent.
Yeah.
There's a lot of issues of consent in this film. And also he's a narc. I can't remember why I put that.
Did he grass someone up or something?
Yeah, he does. Who does he grass up? I don't know.
I don't know. You know these films better than I do.
The only note is Jacob, narc.
He's a narc in Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Oh, when he goes to tell Charlie...
Are these notes for all 3 films?
No, this is just Eclipse. I didn't make
Oh, right, okay.
I didn't make any for the next 2. I was enjoying it
right,
too much.
right.
I was enjoying it too much.
So you've gone early and said that you've made notes, but you've made them on one film.
It's 'cause I had a lot to
progress.
say.
It's progress. It's progress.
I had a lot to say, okay?
But just to go into the history of Emma making notes, the last time she tried to make notes was for The Sword of Xanten, and she got as far as writing the name of the film in her notes. So we've made progress. There was at least 5 there that I saw.
Right, there's actually 7.
Oh, sorry, I miscounted there.
One of them is just Edward equals doormat.
So Eclipse is weird for me because
Okay.
I don't really know what to make of it. Because you said last week that this used to be your favourite film.
Yeah, it was. I felt like when I watched it when I was younger, it was just really action-packed. And now watching it again, I just feel like it's a bit of a filler.
Yeah.
It doesn't really feel like anything happens.
The threat in it is a bit weird. We've got Bryce Dallas Howard as Victoria.
Yeah,
She looks like Merida from Brave.
she does.
Which the other actress...
Did you ever want to know your fate?
Which the other actress who played her previously, it never clocked me, but I don't know if she was wearing a wig or something and it just made her look like she had
it's
really
defo a
curly
wig.
ginger hair.
Yeah.
But yeah, she just looked like Merida. And then she turns a young boy in Seattle, who I've called, I don't know what his name is, but I've termed him Discount Edward Cullen.
Riley.
Because he just looks like a bit like a discount. He looks like a B-Tech Edward Cullen.
He looks like someone is cosplaying as Edward Cullen on DeviantArt.
That's a fair point. And I've got in my notes as well. Do you know who the other 2 options to play him were?
What, Riley?
Yeah.
No.
Tom Felton
No.
and Channing Tatum.
That would have been so jarring, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Channing Tatum.
Well, I don't know, when these films came out, would it have been? Was he a big name then? Channing Tatum?
I just feel like he doesn't look right. He's massive.
Well, he might not have been then.
Oh, that's true.
Also, Tom Felton's an interesting choice because obviously Harry Potter was still coming out at the time that these were coming out.
Yeah.
So
I would have quite liked that, I think.
having Draco in Twilight as well, would that not be a bit too much?
Maybe. Or maybe it would have been the right amount.
Maybe. So she turns this
Fella.
Discount Edward Cullen, and then here they're making an army of newborns
Yeah.
to attack Bella. So I was right in the prediction that she would come back for Bella, but she's using this proxy because otherwise, what's her name?
I don't know who you're
The
talking about.
the one that can see the future.
Oh, Alice.
But she can't see the future. She can read people's decisions.
Yeah, she sees like what's going to happen if
So they
if
have
people
to.
do
Her
certain
and the
things.
Volturi have to use people that she doesn't know about, so that she doesn't know to read their future.
Yeah,
Right.
because her mind
that
is
the
like compromised.
Strategy there.
Because of both Alice and Edward, because if she gets close enough, Edward can hear her around as well. So she knows that Alice and Edward together are like a force to be reckoned with, so she needs to, ping it off like a satellite and get other people to do her dirty work.
Right.
She's a cunning vampire.
Right.
And
then
a total bitch.
meanwhile, Edward is proposing to Bella.
Yeah.
I got here, he just does a shit proposal.
Yeah.
It's not the best. And also the ring that he gives her is crap as well.
Oh, it's horrible, isn't
horrible,
it?
Horrible ring.
Really gross.
And I didn't get it watching it, but in my research afterwards,
Oh, I thought
it was,
it
it was his mom's ring or
yeah,
something. But I
yeah.
didn't
He
know.
does say that, to be fair.
I wasn't paying attention, clearly. It's like, so because I've watched these all in such quick succession, I can't really remember why I thought it was a terrible proposal. I think he just sort of...
It was just a bit lackluster, and then when you compare it to like everything else that Edward does, which is all very extravagant, and their wedding was very extravagant, and then the proposal was just like, "We be my wife, lol."
yeah, I think that's why.
Yeah, okay.
So one of my criticisms of these films are that they make a bit of a big deal, like in Breaking Dawn, and that she doesn't want to say goodbye to her parents or her dad. But I never really feel that there's like a relationship built up between Bella and her dad. Her dad's always like portrayed as being a bit of a dick because he's like...
You said what about Charlie? Charlie's a dick!
Well,
Tom!
that's what I don't...
No!
I don't... So I've got here, her dad isn't being a dick.
No!
He's being a nice father, but
Thank
it's
you.
sort of portrayed... It's sort of...
I love Charlie.
Bella takes it
Sorry,
as...
I flew off the handle there. I love Charlie.
Bella takes it as him being a knob because he's like, oh, hang out with your friends, not just Edward.
Yeah, because
And
Bella's a dick.
I feel like the film is trying to make you think that is like trying to portray him as being a dick.
I don't think so. I think it's just trying to... I don't know, actually. I think you're meant to feel bad for Charlie, and you're meant to feel bad for Bella for having to possibly cut him out.
I would have liked a bit more of like seeing them two like bond, like in... This goes for New Moon and Twilight as well. I never really felt like there was much of a connection between her and her father. It was
I just feel like
all on Edward.
that's all Bella. Like, he tries to get her to do stuff. He tries to take her for lunch, and she just sits there bitching about Edward. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I love Edward and Bella together, but Bella is just a moody bitch, and she always has been.
Yeah.
She sucks. Also, did you enjoy Anna Kendrick's graduation speech? Because I thought you would probably have enjoyed that.
I did, yeah. Anna Kendrick's still great throughout.
She's still my number one.
Yeah.
My number one gal.
The friends sort of blend into the background, don't they?
I really enjoyed Jasper saying about graduation. He's like, after all, how many times are we going to graduate high school?
Oh.
And I was like, good one.
I roll.
It's funny because you graduated like 100 times between you. Lol.
It's fucking...
Good banter.
Fucking banter.
Banter.
So, yeah. Getting back onto Jacob.
Oh,
Right.
God, here we go. Hashtag Team Jacob.
So, yeah, he goes a bit off the handle in this film. And
We
he's
need
like...
to drill down into this. We can't... Come on. The consent issues.
So, he
kisses her without permission, and then Bella also has an issue with consent because she tries to get Edward to sleep with her when he doesn't want to.
So
they're both awful people.
I've got this...
The only innocent party is Edward.
I've got this for this film and for Breaking Dawn Part 1 about Bella. Like, no means no, Bella. If Edward doesn't want to
And
have
Jacob.
Edward doesn't want to have sex with you, he doesn't have to have sex with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, the issue of Jacob kissing Bella in Eclipse, like, first time, read the room, Jacob.
For real.
Like, but I don't want to make excuses for him, but I don't know, maybe she could have gone for it. But then the fact that he's like, you're gonna ask me to kiss you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you ask me to kiss you. It's a bit weird. And then when they do kiss, when she does ask him to kiss her at the end, why does she do that?
Because Jacob essentially guilt trips her because of whatever reason. She's with Edward, he's not happy about it because he's a little bitch boy. And then he essentially is like, I'm gonna go and fucking kill myself because you broke my heart. In not so many words, but he's like, I don't want to be here, like, I'm gonna go.
But I didn't understand.
And then so she's like, kiss me, Jacob, to stop him jumping off a bridge. That's guilt tripping. Oh my god, I hate him.
I don't understand.
And then Edward's just there listening to the makeout sesh.
See, I thought he just wanted, he was like, oh, I'm going to go fight in this battle then, and like, maybe I'll die. But I thought he should have been a bit dramatic. I didn't think he was guilt tripping her.
Tom.
I also don't get why she, even if he was guilt tripping her, I don't get why she would do that, especially with fucking Edward there.
I just think she likes throwing her cat about.
Throwing her cat about?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you said last week, oh, there's going to be a scene that makes you really happy.
I thought
And
that
the
you
tent
would really
scene.
enjoy the 10.
No, fucking weird, man.
Did you not think that was funny? I thought Team Jacob, you'd think it's funny how Edward just has to watch while he's giving her a little snug.
Just strange.
It's
No.
awful, isn't it? That whole thing in the tent and then them kissing outside the tent is a hard watch.
Yeah, I don't like Jacob at all in this film.
Okay, I'm glad you don't like him in this
Yeah,
film.
yeah.
Although, obviously we're not talking about it yet, but he does redeem himself.
Yeah. But I felt a lot of it was like, it was still really forced. It was like, you've had New Moon and you like Jacob, but we want Edward and Bella to get together.
Mhm.
So therefore, the decisions that he was making, I was like, this doesn't really match up with what he was doing in the other film.
No.
If that makes sense. It was like, we need to make Jacob the bad guy / non-viable option for Bella to go with,
Yeah.
so that she gets with Edward, which I get, because you need to do that. I would have enjoyed it more if they'd had a bit of a... Because also, going through these films, from the outside, there's always been this massive, massive thing of Team Edward, Team Jacob.
Yeah.
So I assumed that it would be a really big thing, and like she would actually genuinely get with Jacob, and then Edward would have to win her back. Whereas that never really happened.
No.
And it's just sort of a weird thing for me. Like, she sort of kind of likes Jacob, but she's always going to get with Edward.
Yeah.
And so I would preferred it if he'd liked her in New Moon, and she'd had like a bit of, oh, will I, won't I? And then she went, no. And then Jacob was just like, okay, I'm the best friend who I'm going to do I care about you, I do nice things for you, but I'm not going to try and actively steal you off your boyfriend.
Yeah.
It was just a bit weird. I think it would have been better if, he'd have just fallen into the background. And then
The whole thing is weird with Jacob, like, at the wedding when he just appears in the woods, and then they have that really, like, chest-to-chest slow dance.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
it's strange.
can you imagine doing that at your wedding with another person?
It's really weird, isn't it? So that's when I was like...
Edward has the patience of a saint.
It would just be better if they were just really good friends.
Yeah.
And there wasn't this whole romantic subplot. I get that they want to have a love triangle and all this. And then, obviously, this is getting ahead. I think we're just on the topic of Jacob here.
Yeah.
He obviously imprints on...
Renesmee. Thoughts on the name?
I hate it so much. He imprints on her, but before... And I knew that was going to happen, but before that, I felt like it was very well set up for him to get with... what's the girl wolf?
Leah.
Yeah, I would have been happy with that. I got in my notes, get with Leah, Jacob.
I genuinely think Leah is too much of a, like, strong woman for Jacob. Like, Jacob and Edward both just seem to, like, really meek...
submissive women.
Bitches, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're being honest.
Yeah. But
Leah is a bad bitch.
That's why it would have been good for him to get with her, because that would have, like, settled him down a bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe she could teach him a
and
thing or two about...
she's busy
life.
fawning over, whatever his name is. Sam?
Mm-hmm.
Slowly learning the names.
Getting there.
So yeah, Jacob in Eclipse, not the Jacob that we came to love in New Moon.
No, definitely not. It almost feels like he goes too far the other way. Like, he's suddenly such an arse.
That's what I'm saying.
Bruh.
Like, they went, oh, people
Yeah.
really liked him in New Moon. We need people to want her to get with Edward.
Yeah.
So we need to make him an arsehole. I don't know whether that was the decision or that's what they were doing there, but that's what it felt like to me. But anyway, rest of the film.
I digress. I just have a note that says Carlisle looks like handsome Squidward in this film. Like, particularly in this film.
I mean, he does in general. I can't remember what he looks like in that film, really.
He looks like handsome Squidward in that film. I just told you.
Yeah, now you've said it, he does anyway.
No,
Just
but
in all of them.
in Breaking Dawn, he's got a nice tan. Do you know what? I was saying this last night when I was watching it, that it's like the makeup or costume people just gave up trying to make them all look pale, like all the Cullens.
So they did in Breaking Dawn, because I noticed it in Breaking
all look
Dawn. I was like,
tanned.
they've all just got their own hair.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that I read last week was, is it Rosalie, the one that hates Bella?
Yeah.
The actress who plays her, it took her like 38 hours or something to get her hair the right blonde. So I think for Eclipse, they made her wear a wig.
Whoa.
And then in Breaking Dawn, I think it's just a normal hair. And
yeah.
the guy who plays Jasper, he's just got his normal hair.
Yeah, and
they all
then
just look normal.
Robert, the boy we're all here to talk about, he looks fresh in Breaking Dawn.
In Eclipse as well, I've got that he's far, far more cash.
Yeah.
No, he's just wearing normal clothes. And he gets more and more casual.
In Breaking Dawn Part 2, when they've got all the gaggle of vampires in the house to have a chat about what they're going to do,
yeah.
Edward
He's just
is
in a
wearing
hoodie,
a
isn't
hoodie.
he? Yeah, he's just in a hoodie.
Wearing a hoodie. I literally pointed at the TV like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It went,
Yeah.
he's wearing a fucking hoodie. How can you go from being like, yeah, I'm such a gentleman, Bella, I was raised in the 1920s, and now he's in a freaking hoodie. I couldn't believe my eyes.
So we clearly just want to talk about Breaking Dawn, because let's just say those are the better films out of these three.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So Eclipse, there's not really much you can say about it. Like we say, it's just a filler, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I watched it 2 days ago. It's already left my mind.
I can't really remember much about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because Breaking Dawn is so fresh in my mind, I guess. But
the big news is they get engaged. That's the big news.
Yeah, and Jacob's a dick, so that she doesn't get with Jacob.
Yep.
So people who've not listened before, we give these films a rating based on Robert Pattinson's name, we give it a pat on the back or a shat on the back.
Yep.
Whether shat on the back is obviously the negative one.
Obviously.
Or it could be Eclipse or a shits. If it's
I was
based
going to say a craps, but I like a shits.
A shits. Yeah, I think it's a shits.
A shits has got a nice little shitty ring
it's
to
it.
it.
It's a shits for me. It's a shits.
It's the shits.
It gives me the shits.
It gives me a shits.
So it's just a bit of a bleh film. Like you say, you've admitted it yourself. It's just a filler film.
It is, yeah.
Like before they get to the wedding.
I feel like all the other films, for me, stand really well on their own. Like, obviously, you need context of the whole series, but New Moon is like a cracking film on its own. Twilight, even. I know you didn't like it.
No, I didn't like Twilight.
Tom gave that a twice shite.
What I hate about these films is is it every single one of them? Yeah, it is every single one of them. The end is a group of vampires tries to kill Bella. I just don't like that. I just hate the repetition. Like, I know that Harry Potter is Voldemort is trying to kill
just some dude trying to kill the same
but there's
kid.
there's a bit of variation. Do you know what I mean?
So, are you trying to tell me that Harry Potter is better than Twilight?
Absolutely. I mean, obviously,
Tom, you shock me.
I'm a previous fan of Harry Potter, but
as am
I.
I.
It's the same format. It's. I think I wrote down in my notes: Edward and Bella are happy. Mm-hmm. Something happens.
Yeah.
Where someone finds out about Bella or wants to kill Bella.
Yeah.
And then they spend the rest of the film gathering their resources to fight the person, and then they fight them and win.
I find the predictability of it quite the comfort, personally.
No.
Yeah, I do. It's like an episode of Sherlock, you know?
You're sorry?
There's always a murder, and he's always got to solve it. Same shit.
Not always a murder.
It could be a robbery.
It could be, exactly. Variation. Variation. Yeah, it's just Eclipse is a shat on the back. Yeah. So Breaking Dawn parts 1 and 2.
Let's get to the meat and
2 veg.
Potatoes.
Oh, you've learned. You had to think about it though.
I too have Google.
So I'm gonna say up front that I think I actually preferred part 1.
Is that because you get to see Bella's spine cracking?
Yes, yeah.
That's exactly why.
I think, weirdly, it actually definitely benefited for me from being split into 2.
Yeah.
I don't know what the actual plot of the book is. Do the werewolves try and kill the baby in the book? Because I don't know how it would work in a book, because that feels like the climax, which they obviously made for the films.
Yeah. I haven't read it in a very long time.
Is it just not really a bit of a non-entity in the books?
No, it's definitely a big thing, but it's a big book.
Oh, right,
It's a big-ass book.
But the fact that they split it into 2 felt that the story they could like spend a bit more time on the characters.
Or just the longest honeymoon montage ever of them just banging for like what feels like 3 weeks.
So...
Tom's getting his notes. So, let's talk about this.
So the sex scene.
Let's talk about the banging.
All the trivia I could find, most of it focused on this sex scene, by the way.
I wonder why.
So, apparently the sex scene only lasts 40 seconds.
It feels like 2 hours.
But they had to reshoot the sex scene.
Oh.
Because the first one they shot and edited meant that the film got an R rating.
Oh,
because apparently Kristen and Robert got a little bit too into it.
Oh, I bet they did. They were together at the time.
And apparently Kristen was thrusting a bit too much. That's what got it the R rating.
I mean, we all know Robert actually likes to get a bit too real with his sex scenes anyway.
Well,
Big Tugs is in the house.
I did get down that this was a much more refreshing sex scene than Little Ashes. Listen to episode 2 if you want to hear about the Little Ashes sex scene, but it was much more reserved and
it was just nice.
not as visceral.
I was like looking at it like I had my head in my hands and I was just going, isn't this nice?
So, according to interviews, Robert Pattinson and director Bill Condon blame Kristen Stewart's wild thrusting during filming for the R rating.
I love her.
She got very into it. I hate to be clinical, but there are guidelines on thrusting intercourse. Not to make people too excited, it was never explicit, but I think any movement that suggests that that's what it is, the MPAA object to. That's people who rate the films.
Wow.
So, yeah,
I would like to see that version, just purely from a film fan point of view.
I tell you what made me roll my eyes during their honeymoon.
Oh, go on.
The fact that they're fucking playing chess with that chessboard.
Oh, with the cover of the book.
It's just so obviously the cover of the book. Also, you lied to me last week. Not all the films have a reference to the cover of the book.
Oh, do they not?
Eclipse doesn't.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go.
But I was just like, who owns a chess set
A red and white chess
A red
set.
and white chess
And then
set.
they sit playing it perfectly poised on the sofa.
Yeah. Also, apparently, Robert Pattinson plays it wrong. At one point in the film, he moves his pieces and he takes one of Bella's pieces and then he puts his piece down in the wrong space.
I don't know how to play chess, do you?
Yeah?
I never played chess in my life.
What? This may or may not surprise you, Emma, but when I was in primary school, I was in the chess club. Does that surprise you?
I am not surprised
No.
at all. No. I've never played it.
I'm really cool. Do you
Do you
not
wanna teach
know?
me?
Do you not know the how to play chess?
No.
That blows my mind.
The closest interaction I've had with chess is watching Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. and
Do
breaking
you
Dawn.
not know how all the different pieces move?
No.
Oh my.
I'm assuming you pick them up and put them down. That's how
Yeah,
they
no,
move.
but they have different ways that they can move.
I don't know. When would I have played chess?
So, like,
I don't.
a pawn can only move one space forwards,
I didn't.
or
Yeah.
diagonally to take another piece.
Okay, I'll learn for you. How about that?
Yeah.
Next week
cheers,
we'll have
cheers.
a game of chess.
Oh, just going back to Leah Clearwater.
Oh yeah.
An alternate casting for her that was considered was Vanessa Hudgens.
Oh, I'm so glad it wasn't Vanessa Hudgens.
Do you not like Vanessa Hudgens?
No. Well, I don't dislike her as a person. I mean, I've never met her.
Have you not?
I find
You surprised me.
I find her quite annoying, just on screen. I don't know what it is. It's like the Tom Cruise thing again. Just got an annoying face.
Emma doesn't like Tom Cruise.
No, I don't.
Just gonna put that out there.
I just want to bring something up. You probably wouldn't have thought about this. I'm just assuming you haven't, and I may be making an ass out
when
of
you
and
assume,
me. Yeah. But what really, really bothers me in this film, and I know it bothers some of my friends as well, is that they've just had their wedding, right?
Yeah.
They've just got married.
Yeah.
Bella's looking all pretty and fresh, and then they get on their honeymoon, and before she has sex with Edward, she starts shaving her legs. And I'm like, Bella, would you not have shaved your legs last night or yesterday on your wedding? Like, why would you not shave your legs?
So yeah, I hadn't noticed that because
It's so annoying.
I've never had to
She's
shave my
like,
legs in
oh
my life.
no, I've got to have sex with my husband, runs to the bathroom and starts shaving everything like a bloody dolphin. I'm
Well,
like, why didn't you do that
I
yesterday?
did think, oh, she's going to have to freshen up because it looks like they go straight from their wedding onto a plane to Brazil, onto a boat and all this. I was like, yeah, she's going to need to freshen up because she's going to be stanky.
She can't be stoned.
She's been sat on a plane for however long.
I mean, I'm totally down with freshening up, but the fact she didn't shave her legs for her wedding, but she wants to shave them to have sex, I just don't
Maybe
understand
she's
the
just
logic.
doing a top up.
Just a top up.
You know.
I mean,
She's got, you know, a bit of one day stubs. I don't know.
Do you get one day stubs?
I don't know how fast leg hair grows.
Big stubs.
She's big stubs, and Robert is big tubs. the match made in heaven.
Oh my god. Oh dear.
And then so I misread this as well because I read a fact about it. She makes a big deal about going in her suitcase, and I thought she was looking for some nice lingerie, and I was like, oh, these are all perfectly good choices. What's wrong with you? And then she just
look beautiful.
And then she just goes and goes out naked. But apparently she was looking for a swimsuit there. I didn't realise that because one of the errors in the film is later in their honeymoon montage, she has a swimsuit. So she could have just not gone
Do you know
naked.
what? I didn't know that either. I just assumed she was looking for something sexy.
Yeah.
And I was also thinking, they all look really nice. What's your issue?
Whack it on, Bella.
Just put it on, little stubs. No, sorry, big stubs.
And then is this the first time that they've seen each other naked?
Do you know what? I think it might be. And I find the whole scene where they're getting into the ocean just really uncomfortable.
Well, you're going to have your first time in the ocean, but then it just transitions to the bedroom.
In the sea?
'Cause
it's freezing.
It's freezing, yeah.
Full of fish. Full of fish.
Ooh, I don't like to see it at the best of times. I hate the ocean.
I
like swimming. Wow. I love swimming, but I hate the ocean because I just don't like the idea of the things that are in it.
Scared of fish, Tom?
Not scared of fish. It's specifically if we're in the ocean. Oh God. Like crabs, like biting me.
Oh, I need to send you a video.
Oh no!
Bit.
I do not want to. I do not want
yes,
a video
you do.
of crabs. No.
Can I just explain what it is quickly?
Oh, go on.
This guy shoves sort of like a mesh thing into the sand where you would dig your toes in on the beach, and then he like puts all the sand into the ocean, and there's like hundreds of crabs in it, and he's just picked them up from like 6 inches down in the sand, and he's like, "This is why you shouldn't put your toes in the sand."
No.
Full of crab.
No. I don't like jellyfish.
Okay.
They terrify me. And fucking octopus, octopi, squids, all that shit.
What about eels?
No. No. I just hate it. I hate it so much.
What about the eels from Super Mario?
Absolutely not.
They
No,
freak you out. They freak me
absolutely
out,
not.
actually.
I've just recently played Super Mario 64.
Oh, that eel.
The
No,
fucking
no.
eel in that level. No, horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible, horrible creatures. Why would you go in the sea? Do you know we know more about space than we know about the sea? Fuck the sea. Get in the sea, you fucking weird marine biologists. Fuck off. Honestly, I hate it.
So Edward and Bella potentially having sex for the first time in the sea didn't sit well with you.
No, mainly because of the salt water. She's going to get
Salty.
infected, surely.
Yeah, genuinely.
Oh.
Like, clearly Charlie didn't sit her down and have the UTI
Well,
talk.
but she said that her mum's had the talk with her because her dad tries to have a talk with her.
Yeah,
it's like,
she
oh,
does.
my mum's already had this conversation with me.
It's so weird.
Clearly
isn't it?
not. Clearly not, Bella. How old are they in this?
Like 17, 18.
Fucking hell, man.
Oh, she's 18 because her friends are judging her for getting married at 18.
Oh, which is a callback to when he originally proposes to her because she says, oh, the only people that get married at 18 are pregnant.
Yeah,
Do you think that's like a bit of a foreshadowing as well?
I reckon so.
If she gets pregnant.
Yeah.
Also, she got... I mean, I know it's revealed that the baby grows at an abnormally fast rate, but she got pregnant fast.
Yeah. I
Like-
think that's because they had sex 50,000 times during the course of their honeymoon.
But it's only once.
It feels like 50,000.
Because like, there's the whole sex scene, and then she's like, oh, last night was amazing.
That's true, actually, yeah.
So it was only one night, and then he won't have sex with her again because he's bruised her, and then she's just trying to like lure him into sex.
I've had worse
She's
bruises.
fucking obsessed as well, by the way.
Right. I've had worse bruises walking into a coffee table. She's got the tiniest little bruise on her arm, and Edward's like, I can't do this anymore, Bella. And I'm like, Edward, stop.
She's upset. Like, the second they get there, he's like, do you want to have a tour around where we're staying? And she immediately goes to the bedroom and like looks at the bed, and she's like, go get in the seat. I need to freshen up. It's like, come on, Bella, Jesus Christ.
I want to see that amazing, like, $2 million apartment thingy that they live in. It's amazing.
Yeah, and she just goes straight
One
to
thing on her mind, that girl.
She really does.
Edward, too good for her. I'm just going to put it out there.
Oh, wow.
Lovely man. Absolutely mugged off by her.
He's a killer.
Yeah.
Also, the night before their wedding, he goes, by the way, I've killed people.
I love that scene. It's so jarring.
Apparently,
It's like, I
Robert
should tell
Pattinson
you.
fought for that to be put in.
God. You gotta love him.
He's sticking true to the character, really.
While we're on the subject of Edward, let me just show you this article that I found a couple of days ago when I was in a Robert Pattinson hole on the internet. I could have phrased that a lot better, couldn't I?
Yep. I'm not even going to touch that.
I'm not even going to touch that hole.
No. Oh, no.
I'm not going to read it because it's just long, but basically, I came across this article by this woman and it's titled, Edward Cullen was the first stable man that the media gave me. And it goes into like all of the different male characters in YA fiction, including like Harry Potter and people from the Hunger Games. And it's basically saying Edward is like the man. He's like respectful. He's traditional. He never forces her to do anything she doesn't want to do. He's only got her best interests at heart. He's really smart. And I was reading it like, do you know what? Edward is an absolute catch. And Bella should be very happy. She's caught herself a sexy, sexy
No,
Edward.
Honestly, you know, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
He's not a bad boy. He's not trying to be
in
anything
these
he's
last
not.
two films, I did come to like Edward a bit more.
The more he smiles, the more my heart.
So yeah, he
feels
gets
full.
happier with
He
these films.
does.
Do you think that he's happier in the last two films because Robert Pattinson knew that it was the last two that he was going to have to do? Because that's
He's like,
what
thank fuck this
that's
is
what I
over.
think. I genuinely think that he's like, oh my god. Because how many years did this take to come out? Because we've
From Twilight to
from
Breaking Dawn,
yeah.
it was only like 5 years.
Right, it's still a fairly long time. 'Cause
Yeah.
we've sort of broken our own rules because usually we would go through chronologically of the actor's filmography, but because this is a whole series,
Yeah.
we've skipped ahead a bit and watched them all,
Yeah.
and then we'll be skipping back. But yeah, from watching interviews with him, he seemed to hate it while he was in it.
Yeah.
So I feel like he was really happy that it was the last one.
Well, he looks great when he smiles anyway.
Their wedding is over the top. I'm just going to say that.
Oh, so over the top.
Like, because when they were talking about it in like New Moon, Eclipse, he was saying, let's get married.
Mhm.
I imagined it would be like a small elopement.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I
Not
didn't
like,
realise
I'm going to
that
invite people
everyone.
from the far reaches of the world.
Yeah.
Well, we need to get on to all the different vampires that there are that come into Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I can't wait to talk about
Right,
that.
so
Amazing.
so she then gets pregnant, and then she goes gaunt as fuck.
Mhm.
And then
She doesn't look cute.
no, but they do a good job of making her look very, very ill.
They do.
And then the wolves want to attack her, and Jacob like stands up and is like, "No, that you can't kill her. You can't kill her. I love her." Blah blah blah. And like Jacob and Edward become a bit of bros,
Yeah.
which I would have liked earlier on. I really like that dynamic, which is why in Eclipse it's so frustrating that Jacob acts the way that he does.
Yeah.
Because it should just be like,
That alliance
okay,
could have been formed earlier.
you've got her, you're with her. And also they treat her like an object.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, no, she's mine, no, she's mine, no, she's mine.
Yeah.
What does she want?
Yeah. I think that's the problem. She don't fucking know.
Yeah, well, true.
She ain't got a clue.
And they're more bros. He's like, look, yeah, I'll look after her. I mean, he does have a bit of a dig when they think that she's dead at the end, and he's like, I'm not going to kill you because you need to fucking live with this.
Yeah, and it's like, whoa, I thought you were buddies.
Yeah.
Now
You've
suddenly
been buddies
you're
up
not.
to this point. And then the baby's born, right?
Oh, baby face. The baby's face. Is that what you're going to talk about?
Yeah. Just the baby in general. The baby, fucking freaky. Why did they do that? Why?
Because
it's like an amalgamation of their faces, is it? To make, well, certainly I know they use pictures of Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
To make it look, because everyone comments on how much it looks like in the book or something.
I think I kind of get them doing the creepy CGI face. I mean, there's no excuse for it being creepy, but I would understand them doing the CGI baby face when it's a lot younger because they need it to look a certain way because it's like a vampire baby. But it's when Renesmee, stupid fucking name, it's when Renesmee is like however age, where they've got the actress's face who plays her like later on, but they've stuck it on like a 4-year-old's body. So you've got the grown-up Renesmee who's on the battlefield, and she's the actual actress.
10 years old,
but then they took her face and put it on a younger kid, and it's like, why?
I've got here that they used 10 children to show her growing up.
They did it so badly, though.
Yeah, well, apparently another one of the facts was that it's still criticised to this day, like the technology they used, because also in the admittedly weird imprinting scene where like Jacob hasn't a flash forward of what his life's going to be like with Renesmee.
So
you see her grown up like an adult or whatever. Instead of just casting someone to play her grown up, do you know what they did? That's CGI as well.
CGI'd that girl's face onto
They got an older
woman.
model and then CGI'd her face and aged her up onto. And what's really weird to me is, do you know what technology they use to do it? They use the same technology that they use, when children go missing. And they use technology to make an image of what they would look like grown up, so in case, like they did with Madeleine McCann.
Oh.
Because obviously she was young when she disappeared, so she'll look different now.
So they've got to age her. Oh, God.
They use the same technology for that, which just makes me feel even weirder.
I just can't believe we live in a world where that was made at the same time as, like, all the graphics in, say, Harry Potter. Like, I know budgets are different, but Twilight was not a small franchise.
No,
Could
it was
they
massive.
not have done better?
Eclipse was like the biggest box office opening ever when it came out.
That's mad.
And then it wasn't beaten until a year later when Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 2 came out. So that's how big it was.
Yeah.
So they had the money.
Yeah.
It's just really, really weird.
It's so creepy.
Getting into the Jacob Renesmee nonsense.
Yeah. I still can't get behind that.
Even
now.
What I will say is he's not like in Breaking Dawn Part 2, we're getting into it a bit now. When he's like with the child actress, it didn't come across to me that he was like lusting after her.
No,
he
was very much a protector.
It felt more like a father.
But I kept calling him Creepy Uncle Jake.
Creepy Uncle Jake, yeah.
Because it does just feel like they keep palming her off with Jacob, and it's like, how are you going to explain to your child that this fully grown man who's been looking after her since she was a child is going to be the person she's going to be with?
So, the way that you could justify it is that she's grown up a lot faster, so she's going to be physically older. But what's weird to me is the fact that, right, okay, they look okay together, and I mean, if we're going to feel weird about it, we should feel weird about Bella and Edward as well.
Yeah,
that's. I mean,
I do kind of feel weird.
That's
about
also
that.
weird as fuck.
Yeah,
but yeah, she's going to look 20 or whatever in about a week. I don't know.
On her second birthday.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. She's still only 2, so she's mentally a 2-year-old.
Oh, I was saying this. I was like,
she's not. Her brain's not going to mature. Her brain's not going to mature quicker, is it? Surely.
Well, does it though? Because I was thinking this. She's going to have to like do all the schoolwork and learn everything a 20-year-old knows in like 2 years or whatever.
But it's not even what you learn. It's like your life experience, right?
That's she's going to still be like watching CBeebies when she's like in the body of a 20-year-old.
She's going to be there with Jacob sat watching Mr. Tumble. Is that his name? Watching Teletubbies.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man.
She's going to be there eating like, I don't know, cheese strings and like Dairy Lunchables. A bit strange.
The bit that made me I laughed out loud. It was a proper belly laugh.
I really hope you're about to say what I think you're going to say.
You nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster. What the fuck? Was that supposed to be that funny?
I don't know, but it's like
hilarious.
It's like a it's a well-addressed thing that everyone finds hilarious. It's the way Kristen Stewart delivers it.
Yeah.
She, like, oh god, it's funny.
That made me howl.
You know my daughter.
So Breaking Dawn Part 1.
Yep.
So I think it gets a pat on the back from me.
Yep.
Did you get a pat on the back from you?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Big old pat on
So
the
we've
back.
addressed that. Also, the ending of it.
Mm-hmm.
So
the avatar with the eyes.
So she opens her eyes and they're red, and I was like, "Oh, this is an oh shit moment. Like she's gonna wake up and be out of control." No. Open into the second film. It's
She's
just really
like,
chill.
"Oh,
It's just really chill. Oh, hi everyone, I'm a vampire now. I was like, oh, that was a bit of an anticlimax. Also, they're giving it the big boy end of franchise credits at the beginning as well.
Yeah.
Like it had a big full proper intro. They had
I
everyone's
bloody
names.
loved it. I bloody loved it.
Did you cry?
No, I
at that
didn't.
bit?
No, I didn't cry at that bit.
There was another bit that I thought you might cry at because we'll address it now, everyone. Emma's a bit of a crier when it comes to these films in general.
All right.
So,
yeah, I am a crier.
I don't know.
I don't just cry at anything. It's important to note.
No.
I only cry at stuff that makes me feel.
Okay, so there's a bit, I can't remember if it's in Breaking Dawn Part 1 or Part 2.
Okay.
Where I think it might be where Bella's turning into a vampire and they do like a montage of their entire relationship.
Oh yeah, I did cry at that.
Did you cry at that? They do it again at the end.
Every time I see that meadow, I cry.
Alright, they did it again at the end. Also, to give a bit of history on Emma crying, this is a different franchise that I'm going to bring up now.
What the fuck are you about to mention? I have no idea what you're about to say.
So, we've mentioned it a little bit in this episode, but Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Oh, no.
So Emma's also a massive Harry Potter fan.
Yeah, but don't tell everyone. It's embarrassing.
We went to watch Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 at the cinema together. The day after our prom, actually.
Was that what that
yeah,
was?
because it came out, the midnight release was the night of our prom, so we couldn't go.
Oh, just quickly, at our prom, Tom won Best Hair.
Best male hair.
Best male hair.
Yeah, but that was only because you and our friends voted. I don't think anyone else voted.
And I also won Funniest Girl, but moving on.
Yeah. So we went to see Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. And, you know, if you're a big Harry Potter fan, you're probably going to cry at that. I think I cried at Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 at the end.
It's a sad film.
Yeah. Tell you what, it's not sad. In the trailers before the film, they played a trailer for Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, the video game. And I look over and Emma is there bawling her eyes out. Would you like to explain what set you off in that trailer?
I think it was just it was high emotions anyway, because it was the last film. We were all very sad about it.
Yeah.
And then it was the music that got me. They start playing Hedwig's theme in the game trailer, and I was just like, this is going to be the last Harry Potter game. And I got quite upset.
Oh, it's going to be the last game. Well, little did you know it wasn't, because they're bringing a new one out, aren't they?
And little did I know that the Deathly Hallows game was shit anyway.
Yeah.
So
That's why you were crying, probably, because it was just so bad.
I just knew. I had an Alice Cullen vision that it was going to be dog shit.
Well, skipping back to Twilight. So you cried a fair bit through this last Twilight film.
No, mostly just at the end.
Just at the end when they did the big montage.
Oh, and maybe in the middle somewhere.
I've got in my notes as well, I bet you fucking loved, didn't you, the end where it ends on the bit from the book.
Oh, yeah, that got me good.
Yeah. I was like, I bet this is really good for Twilight fans. And like the montage where because it shows all the cast members from all the films, even if they're not, regardless of whether or not they're in the final film.
Yeah, and I love that they do that.
And like,
they respect their
I did
cast.
think I quite liked that. I didn't tear up, but I
didn't even shed
I did think,
little tear.
Oh, this is quite nice. I like this, and all these people have worked on these films. That is quite nice.
Oh god.
So not even as a Twilight fan, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Alice Visions. Mm-hmm. Now I know that this was a big thing for Breaking Dawn Part 2, where there's the final fight scene and loads of people die, loads of main characters die.
Did you know this was coming?
I knew it was coming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
I'd heard about it.
That's a shame.
Can you describe to me your initial reaction when you watched that in the cinema?
Tom, right.
Because it's not in the book, is it?
Let me tell you, the shock in that cinema, it was like...
When Michael Sheen pulls off Carlisle's head.
It was, I mean, there was that, yeah, and then just everything after that when Jasper dies as well. The disgust in that cinema, because none of us were expecting it, because obviously it's not in the books. It was honestly more of a wild cinema experience than like Infinity War. It was like, it was crazier than Infinity War, I'm telling you that now, right? Breaking Dawn Part 2.
I bet, because I guess when you thought going in that you know exactly everything that's going to happen.
Yeah, and then they pull that blinder on you.
It's clever on their part, because, so in the book, did they just go and meet them and then they back down? Is there no fight?
No.
There's no fight.
No.
So it's clever on their part because they'll obviously want this big climactic final battle for Bella again. Eye roll. But it's clever that they managed to engineer in a big final battle without there actually being any consequences.
And it's
for
a
it.
fucking good battle
It
as
is.
well.
So fair.
I love it.
Props to them. It is pretty
Just
good.
limbs flying off left, right, and centre.
But going back to what you said about it being better than Infinity War, I did say throughout this film they're fucking assembling the Twilight Avengers when they're fucking getting all the different vampires. And that's what I would say with why I enjoyed Breaking Dawn Part 1 more than Part 2.
You didn't like the Vampire Avengers?
No, I did. It just felt very rushed.
Yeah.
That they were... All these vampires were suddenly appearing from nowhere. They'd never been mentioned before.
Oh, there's some from the Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh, there's
like,
some from
I
Ireland.
I felt it a bit when they turned up at the wedding in the first part. I was like, oh, these have literally never been mentioned before. But then they go and assemble all these Avengers, and they sort of briefly explain all their powers, but they don't really...
The thing is, like, I do really enjoy the whole, like, scenes of them getting all their Avengers vampires together. Like, I really like when...
Rami Malek's in it.
Oh, yeah. Did you know he was in it, by the way?
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't.
I
I
didn't
knew
know
you'd
going
like
into
that.
this.
But I like it when
I got, why the fuck is Rami in this?
Bella's having to practice her shield and she's trying to shock Edward, and I like it all when they're trying to sort out their powers.
Shit power, though.
What, the shock is? Or the shield?
The shield. They built it up because in New Moon, Michael Sheen's like, oh, I can't wait to see what your gift is. And I was like, oh, this is going to be... Yeah, I've got in my notes, what is Bella's gift? Because they don't explain it for ages. I was like, what is it? I want to know. Like, I was expecting it to be a really cool power.
Yeah.
Or a really powerful power.
Yeah.
Also...
That's why you can't read her mind.
Also, I did ask last week, why she can't read her mind. But, riddle me this.
Oh, God.
Riddle me this, listener. Her gift was so powerful that it worked before she was a vampire. What? What? So could Edward sort of know what people were thinking before he was a vampire?
It's a good question, isn't it?
What's her name? The future one?
Alice!
Alice.
Don't ask me again, okay?
Alice.
I'm gonna come over there and
Could
get
she
you.
see to the future before she was a fucking vampire?
It
Could Jasper controls people's emotions before it? How does that work?
It's a bit nonsense.
Doesn't make sense. Also, the whole reason that Jacob is in love with Bella is because he's not actually in love with Bella. He's in love with what presumably is just an egg in her sack.
Oh, God. That was visceral. That was so visceral.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but it's so good.
I don't love you at all because I was actually in love with your unfertilized egg.
So what would happen?
Why wasn't he
Riddle me
attracted?
this.
Why wasn't he attracted to Edward as well? Because presumably he'd be attracted to his sperm.
Or is it just the egg? And then what if Jacob and Bella had ended up having sex and he fertilised that egg? Would he then be in love with his own child? Ew.
Riddle me these things, Stephanie Meyer.
So did you not
Stephanie
cry?
Meyer's at the wedding as well.
You didn't cry at all at the end with
No.
Christina Perri, 1,000 Years?
So
Ooh.
I was going to ask about that as well. I didn't realise that song was from this and that it was written for this because I've heard that song and I quite like that song. And I was like...
And now you like it even more.
And I was like, oh... They did quite well getting this song because this song is really relevant to the story. The lyrics are really relevant.
Wow, this is crazy.
I was like, 1,000 years and 1,000... That's mental, that, isn't it? I have died 1,000 days.
Who'd have funked that?
I have died every day waiting for you. Sat there. I was like, oh, that's...
You're a fucking idiot.
They've really fit this really well to this. They're lucky they made this song, aren't they? And then I was like,
You
hang
dumbass.
hang on.
Wait a hot minute.
Could it be that it was written for this?
Let me just Google.
Maybe it was. Oh, it was. Oh, well done, Tom.
You silly, silly sausage.
Silly sausage. So yeah, no.
Do you know what? I don't even remember Breaking Dawn Part 2 being that good, but it just hit me right in the feels.
The final fight's really good, but up until that point, it felt like filler. Which
yeah,
I think probably comes from it being split into two. So in the book, did they start recruiting the vampires earlier?
I think so. To be honest,
Are they
I can't
almost
remember.
like recruiting them to fight the wolves?
I don't want like Twilight diehard fans or Twihards as we used to call ourselves coming at
You
me
still call yourself that,
for
surely.
getting stuff wrong. So yeah, I can't really remember, but it's fucking great.
I hate to admit it, but it did get me more than I thought it would.
Yeah,
So
admit that you cried. Admit that you cried.
I didn't cry. I did get a little bit emotional in that final bit, and it did take me back to
2 weeks ago when you watched the first one.
No, to like it was more memories of Harry Potter finishing.
Interesting.
So I can appreciate the magnitude of what it would have been to finish this series.
Yeah.
And I did like that they like the bit where they do Kristen Stewart as Bella Swan and all that, and it's like from the book. I can appreciate that
I think it just reminds
as
me
a literary nerd
of like simpler times, you know?
Yeah,
like watching
yeah.
Twilight and reading. I used to read so much when I was a teenager, like, because all those books were coming out, like Twilight, Hunger Games, like
So
everything like that. It reminded me of just having a good book, and I don't do that anymore.
So I'm trying to get back into reading.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm doing that through listening to audiobooks,
Mm-hmm.
which is feels a little bit of a cheat.
I don't think it is. What, you cheating your eyeballs?
Yeah, and I'm not.
You're not.
I'm not
looking at
taking
it.
the time because I'm listening to it when I'm at work and things like that. So I'm doing other things. I'm not setting the time aside and just going. I'm going to focus on this book. Do you know what I mean? But there's something to be said. I'm getting a bit deep here.
About a good book.
There's something to be said about a good book.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I now once I've started getting back into listening to books and hopefully reading them,
Mm-hmm.
I felt that my creative brain is a lot more
Yeah.
open.
I think Twilight as well. I think a lot of young people at the time have Twilight to probably thank for getting them into reading fiction again.
Yeah.
Like, I certainly do. Like, I hadn't read anything since Harry Potter when it came out, and then when I finished Twilight,
really?
I just wanted to read similar stuff. Not like vampire shit. But, like, I started reading Hunger Games, I read Divergent, I started reading, like, I Am Number 4, like, all those sort of, like, YA books.
Isn't I Am Number 4 Stephanie... Is that Stephanie Meyer?
No.
That's the host. I'm thinking of the host.
That's Atticus Ross.
Oh, right, okay.
Yes. Get your YA right, Tom. Come on.
Sorry. I'm so sorry
Sorry.
that I didn't listen to them all. Read them all.
Audible is my life now.
Yeah, Audible is my life. If Audible wants to give us a sponsor, I'll happily talk about it. Or just give me a free subscription.
Yeah, literally anything, please. We're so poor.
Yeah, so I did enjoy it more, and I had a friend who was talking to me. He'd listened to our last episode, and I believe that his girlfriend has recently made him watch all the Twilight films.
Oh,
And he was talking to me about the fact that he felt the same that I did, that when he started watching it, he didn't think it was particularly offensive, but he didn't really enjoy it. And he said by the end of Breaking Dawn Part 2, he was like a bit into it more than he thought he would be. And yeah, I can see that. Like I do, yeah, I did enjoy it more than I thought.
through gritted teeth. In your Team Jacob t-shirt.
Yeah. But Jacob does redeem himself. He does a lot of good
yeah.
in it. Obviously, the Nancy thing's a bit weird, and
Yeah.
he has a bit of a blip, bit of denial in Eclipse, where he can't let Bella go.
He has a blips in Eclipse.
Fucking hell. Right, so Breaking Dawn, also Part 2, also a pat on the back from me.
Mm-hmm. A big pat on the back from me.
So shall we?
Even after one glass of wine last night, I was still loving it, because I was thinking, this is going to get me crying my eyes out after I've had a wine. But yeah, it was really good.
Okay, shall we get to the ranking? The
Robert
official Robert Pattinson ranking.
Oh yeah, go on, Tom.
So this is where...
Take it away, Tom.
Take it away, man.
We
Take
need
it,
to start-
take it away, Ernie. We love Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Should we just do Daniel Radcliffe or something?
Yeah, oh god. Yeah, go on. Then.
He's got some good films.
He does.
Maybe he'll be on the list.
Maybe.
Oh, little cheeky hint there.
No, he's not on the list.
He will be now. So this is where we rank all of Harry Potter's. It's because that's first on the list. Spoiler. This is where we rank all of Robert Pattinson's films.
Yeah.
And by the end of the series, we will know which is definitively his best film.
Yeah.
According to us.
Mhm.
So, currently at the bottom of the list is The Haunted Airman.
Boo.
Just above that, it's Sword of Xanten. Then we're quickly followed by How to Be. Rocking on up there, it's Vanity Fair. And then it's a little bit for me, but it's a little bit of Ashes. Little Ashes.
Are you reading bingo numbers now?
She's a mother. She's got a handbook and she's doing it badly. It's Bad Mother's Handbook. And then rocking into third position, it's Twilight. Followed by New Moon. And finally, in the tippity top position, it's Harry Potter and his Goblet of Fire. Thank you.
Woo!
We're going to have to cut this list a bit short in future weeks because it's getting a bit long now.
We'll just do like top 5.
Yeah. So, Eclipse.
That is not.
Better than Harry Potter.
Fuck no.
Better than New Moon.
No.
Better than Twilight.
No.
Better than Bad Mother's Handbook.
Yes. Imho, in my honest opinion.
Okay, yeah, let's go with that.
Is that what you think, though? I don't want to force your hand.
No, it probably is a better film than Bad Mother's Handbook, isn't it?
Like, I think technically.
Yeah.
Bad Mother's Handbook. No, let's stick with that. Eclipse, better than Bad Mother's Handbook.
where are we going to put Breaking Dawn Part 1?
That's better than Eclipse.
Okay, so that's above Eclipse.
Yeah.
Part 2, for me, worse than Part 1.
Really? Oh. Yeah, we'll go with you.
Okay.
I think I just love Part 2 more because of the montages.
So it goes Bad Mother's Handbook, Eclipse, Twilight, Part 1, Part 2, Part 1, New Moon. Is New Moon the best Twilight film? I enjoyed it the most.
Yeah, I think so. I'm sticking to that.
But Harry Potter is still top of the list.
Yeah.
So that is how it stands. Harry Potter, New Moon, Breaking Dawn Part 1, Breaking Dawn Part 2, Twilight, Eclipse.
Yeah. I do feel a bit sad that we don't have any of his like smaller films in the top 5, but they just don't deserve to be there.
I think films that he does after this, they could go up there.
Oh yeah, it's on the up now. Now he's been in Twilight, his career
But
is...
Bad Mother's Handbook still in the top... No, because there's 5 Twilight films, isn't there? It's not in the top 5 anymore, but still in the top 10.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we've got 10 films yet, but,
Yeah.
there we go. Okay, so that's the official standings.
Wowzers.
Wow, we rocketed through that.
We did.
Okay, so shall I tell you what we're listening to next week?
Yes,
What we're
please.
listening to, what we're watching next week.
Yes, please.
Still in audiobook mode. While I'm looking this up, do you want to tell us your Robert Pattinson fact of the week?
Oh boy, do I.
Robert Pattinson fact of the week. Ding.
So the Robert Pattinson fact of the week is that he is a really bad driver.
Oh, right.
So in an interview with Ellen of the DeGeneres,
Of the generous.
he told her that
Persuasion.
he can drive, but he doesn't really know how. He said, technically, I am driving, but I don't actually know how to drive. It's absolutely terrifying. Plus, I don't know how to use the little wipey thing on the windscreen, so I can't actually see where I'm going.
Wow. I don't know how to use the little wipey thing.
That's what our man Rob said.
So, also, another driving fact, one of the ones that I found out about Breaking Dawn Part 1, he drives a boat when they go to Brazil.
Yeah.
He took boating lessons so that he could actually drive
Aww.
the boat in the film. In every single one of his lessons, and when they were filming the film, he crashed the boat.
Oh my god, Rob, I love you.
So,
You weirdo.
next week, we will be watching The Summer House, Remember Me, Water for Elephants, and Bellamy.
That rhymed. Did you just say a poem?
Maybe.
Read it again.
The Summer House, Remember Me, Water for Elephants, Bellamy.
Oh my god, it's beautiful.
Do you know what? It's just his filmography is just poetry.
Ugh.
Poetry in motion.
Love.
Motion pictures.
I'm really excited for Water for Elephants because I've never seen it.
And it's a return of Reese.
Without her spoon.
Will she be with her spoon or without her spoon? Find out next week.
Dear. Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be a good one.
Don't you find it weird that in Vanity Fair he was playing her son, and then in Water for Elephants, I believe that he's her love interest.
Yeah, I'm assuming maybe she's going for a younger man. I don't actually know how old she is. I think she's probably a bit older than him, but we'll see.
she's old enough to play his mother.
Yeah.
In Vanity Fair.
That is weird, isn't it?
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I've seen Remember Me before. I think we watched it together actually in the cinema. Do you remember Me?
I don't.
I
I remember
do.
what happens at the end.
Oh, but yeah.
No spoilers.
Yeah, that's what I remember. I don't really remember what the film's about. I
Yeah,
remember the ending.
I'm excited to watch it properly as a grown-up woman. Not a teenager.
A grown-up woman.
A grown woman.
So yeah, we've got that to look forward to. If anyone wants to watch those films as well and let us know what you think about them, so that we can get some other insights, then please do. If you want to let us know about any of the films that we've watched so far, please do. You can contact us on Twitter at honorrollpod. It's the same on Instagram as well. Or you can email us at honorrollpod@gmail.com.
Yeah, or find us on the Facey B.
Facebook. Oh yeah, Honor Roll Podcast.
Honor Roll Pod, yeah.
And yeah, if you've enjoyed this episode, or enjoyed any of the episodes, in fact, please leave us a review on iTunes or wherever. If you want to give us 5 stars, that's completely up to you, but I'd recommend that.
Yeah.
Thank you again for listening.
You.
And I'm sure that we'll see you next week.
Smell you later.
Smell you later, ladies and gentlemen. No, we'll see you next week when we'll have watched all of those films that I previously mentioned that I now can't remember.
In the beautiful, beautiful poem.
Yeah, it's a lovely poetry. But yeah, hope you have a lovely rest of your day or evening or whenever you're listening to this. But until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.